The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
The day is Tuesday, July 20th, 2021. Thank you so much for joining us. I often pause and reflect on how difficult it is in this country for Black people to have a respite, for us to have peace. And then I extrapolate that to the international community. Why is it so hard for us to simply have peace? Well, for one, we see that for so many people, our lives simply do not matter to them. When they've done the sum total of what they believe, we've seen that some people definitively look at us and say Black lives do not matter. Let's talk about that problem. Up first on the clock with Georgia Ford.
Lawmakers held a rare field meeting to address voting rights. This is the first time in 20 years that a meeting like this has been held, and it's all about voting rights, to protect voting rights, to address the attack on voting rights. And I thought it was very interesting. Of course, Senator Warnock was present. Senator Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota was there. But Stacey Abrams, when she was asked about this meeting, and specifically about the tweet that Kyrsten Sinema made saying that, she reveres John Lewis and his work. Stacey Abrams felt like it was inappropriate for Sinema to quote John Lewis, knowing that she is not taking action that would have made Lewis proud. Take a listen to what Abrams had to say.
Time for action. That yes, we appreciate your reverence for and your respect for John Lewis and the work of saving democracy, but now is the urgent time for action. What happened in Texas, what's happening right now, what will happen in Ohio, what will happen in North Carolina, what will happen in Pennsylvania is not endemic to the South. It is endemic to authoritarians who do not want to see inconvenient voters cast their ballots and speak their minds. And that has to be the call to arms. This is not simply about one moment. This is about the foundations of our democracy, and they are in peril. And it's time now for every single member of the U.S. Senate, Democrats and Republicans and independents, to declare their allegiance to our democracy as opposed to their parties.
Now, we'll get to Senator Warnock here in a few, but Ben, I wanted to stop there and pull you in because this reminds me last week when we listened to the way that Republicans were quoting MLK in regards to critical race theory. And so here we have Kyrsten Sinema, revering John Lewis when she's taking no action to uphold his legacy on voting rights.
Absolutely. There's nothing that I have found that white liberals like more than co-opting the language, the legacy, and the life of people that they have no intention of actually honoring what they wanted. John Lewis would be the last person that would. John Lewis would call out Kyrsten Sinema right now today if he had not passed away. So she really does, for the purposes of the fight that we're in, fighting for voting rights, for the purposes of she and Joe Manchin standing in the way of overturning the filibuster so that we can protect voting rights. I think it is in the most genuine good faith interest of Kyrsten Sinema to keep John Lewis's name out of her mouth.
Absolutely. And, not only are they not upholding his values, but it feels like in some regard, they're starting to undo the very things that he spent his entire career trying to implement. Yeah,
that's some unmitigated caucasity there. I'm using colorful language because it's not endemic just to white people. Obviously, it's human nature to co-opt people whose truths are inconvenient for you. the fact of the matter is that John Lewis's truth is inconvenient for Kirsten Sinema. MLK's truth is inconvenient for white liberalism and white conservatism that want to only focus on I have a dream and not the fact that he went up there to get the check for black people. So it is something that I've seen in human nature, that when truth is being spoken that is inconvenient for you, instead of letting that truth transform you, instead of Kirsten Sinema allowing John Lewis's truth to transform her so she could actually do something good for America, she decided to rewrite John Lewis.
And I'm so happy that you took the conversation there. Just the simplicity of truth, because that's exactly what Senator Warnock centered in his messaging during this rare field meeting. Take a listen at what he had to say.
What we're seeing in Georgia is an attempt to deny certain people the ability to have their voices heard in our democracy. As I've said time and time again, some people don't want some people to vote. Congress must take action on voting rights. And we have no time to spare. There is nothing more important for us to do this Congress. We Americans live in a great house that democracy built. And right now, that house is on fire.
And that reminded me of a quote that we've mentioned several times over the last few weeks by MLK. I fear I've integrated my people into a burning house. That was when he made that statement. That is the first quote that popped into mind. The fact that voting rights are under attack. He put it simply, the simple truth that some people just don't want other people to vote. Right. And so I know that there has been so many resources, so many people who are all hands on deck trying to fight this issue. The March on Washington this year has been dedicated to this issue. Do you think that we're going to be successful in protecting the right to vote for those who look like you and me, Ben?
Well, we got to be. Right. We have to be successful for the sake of America. One of the things I appreciate about the framing that Dr. Mack brings oftentimes is that we, as the descendants of people who built this country, have every right to this country. And so in order for Black folks to protect our investment in America, we got to win this particular fight. And I love how Stacey Abrams framed it. It's not particularly a Southern thing, even though there is some correlation, but that doesn't mean causality, right? It's not a white thing, even though there's a correlation to white conservatism, but that's not a causal link. The causal link is that there are always going to be people who would prefer authoritarianism over democracy that goes in a direction that is not conducive to their goals and their ambitions for power.
Well, and we can wrap this up here. Last thing I'll say is I just think that it is very inspiring to see how many people are working together on this issue, prioritizing it, doing so urgently. And I just love Stacey's approach to this, which we know she was very successful when she was organizing on this issue before. But now she's been spearheading what's called Hot Call Summer, which appeals definitely to a younger generation when you put that side by side to, Hot Girl Summer, right? And already she said it has resulted in more than 40,000 calls. But we're seeing, this creative approach. And I can't help but wonder where our nation would be if we could evolve to a place where we no longer have to defend, right? And dump all of these resources and all of this energy into combating the resistance and start dumping these resources and this energy into building, right? Because right now I feel like we're still in a defense. We're coming from a place of defense. We're trying to defend our voting rights, something that we should just have, instead of building our infrastructure, instead of building our economy, instead of building our education systems, right? We're here and we're going to spend the next, 6 to 12 months just simply defending
That's right.
our right to vote.
That's right. That's exactly right, Georgia. That's the part that trips. That's the trippy part about this, right? The fact of the matter is that there's so much more that we could be accomplishing as a nation. There's so much more that we can be accomplishing as a species. But because our political and economic institutions have been seized by people who are satisfied with the way things are now, because the way things are now were built to benefit them. They would rather destroy democracy to protect the power structure that was built to protect them and to benefit them than to launch into the future and see all the things that we could actually be spending our money and our resources and our energy on. But we're at fundamental square one. Like you said, we're having to expend all of this energy just so that we can vote. How are we as a people going to move into the future if we can't even get past something that should have been established back in 1776, if not for white supremacy?
Well, we are going to pivot here. There is some exclusive audio that I was able to get my hands on. And the individual in this audio is a daycare manager. She's the VP of operations over Small World Learning Center in Minnesota. I will preface this. We'll play the clip here, and I do want to say that there is vulgar language in this clip. So if you have little ones around, be aware of that. But I reached out to this woman directly and asked her for a comment on this audio so we could get her side of the story. And she denies that this is her. But Ben, this was a phone recording that was sent to me from her phone number. So that's even how I got her phone number to call her. So if it's not her, it's someone who had her phone. But when I spoke to her on the phone, it's the exact same voice that's in the recording. So this is a daycare manager who had some very ill feelings about Black lives. Take a listen.
I never tell my kids that Black lives matter, because guess what? They don't. They're all a bunch of pieces of shit. And they don't know how to treat other motherfucking people or their own kind.
And, I'm not the type of journalist who goes around, publishing stuff like this. But this concerned me because she's working with people's children.
Yeah.
She's in a position to make decisions or not make decisions about Black children. And that concerns me. And I think that it concerns Black parents as well. And I think that Black parents specifically who send their children to these daycares deserve to know that that is how she feels.
Yeah, I need to know that because it's in the best interest. Can I shift the gears to a father? I got to talk about this one through the lens of a father. It is in that person's best interest that we know this about her before our kids inadvertently get into her school and she says something like that to them directly. So she should be grateful that this came out, because she's going to say that to the wrong person's kids one day. And not to intimate violence, but you can't talk to people's kids. You cannot expect us to be okay with placing the care, the development, the nurturing, into the hands of people who look at us like that. And I totally dig what you're saying, Georgia, in terms of like, this is not the kind of journalism that we would want to engage in on a regular basis, except for the fact that these people are in our lives on a very intimate level, because there's nothing more important than how our children are cared for. And this came from a daycare manager. She needs to not be in that position.
Absolutely. It reminds me, there was some footage at a daycare where the decision was made to let the Black kids eat last. And so it's decisions like that are made, or even think about the decision of care. If there was an emergency, are you going to act? Are you going to hesitate? How does your disdain for Black people, right? Because clearly, and she has some strong views, we don't matter. We don't know how to even treat our own kind. That was a short clip, but she said a lot and with conviction. And so how does that translate into your ability to make decisions about children who are vulnerable, right? And, I think that we have seen more of this happen. We have seen people, even like the Karen video that we played last week, right? We've seen people who are starting to record this and put it out there. And while some people may feel attacked or they may feel hesitant, I think that this level of transparency is imperative in order for Black people to be fully aware of who they can and cannot trust.
Right. Or else we have to make, for our safety. Here's the thing. Look at the bigotry that she's espousing. For what reason? She's a daycare manager. She handles children, but she espouses this most negative and vitriolic, I mean, really insidious viewpoint of Black people that she obviously, there's no way she could hold those beliefs about Black adults if she doesn't hold the same beliefs about Black children. Now, what are we to do as Black parents and as Black people in order to protect our children? Must we assume that because of how drenched this country is in white supremacy, that it is in our best interest to not by default trust the care of our children in the hands of people who by default have demonstrated that they have a disdain? Like, do we need to ask this on the interview question when we're interviewing them for childcare? Are you a racist? Do Black lives matter? Do we need to check that out first? Because if not, we need to make the assumption that if these people have come through this American white supremacist system, they have some these biases that could be detrimental to ourselves. And this is something that they would clearly call reverse racism. But you're asking us to put our children in your care. What would you do any less for your child, for your white child?
Yeah. The last thing that I'll say here, if we can just play the clip one more time. The other thing that stands out to me after I listened to this clip a second time was not just how she felt, but how far she was willing to go. Take one more listen at this clip.
I tell my kids that Black lives matter because guess what? They don't. They're all a bunch of pieces of shit. And they don't know how to treat other motherfucking people or their own kind.
And she said, don't tell my kids. Don't tell my kids that Black lives matter.
Ah, there it is.
Don't tell my kids.
I almost missed that.
And so, not only is this a woman who is a daycare manager and overseeing the care of children in 8 different facilities, but this is a woman who is taking these beliefs into her own household and passing this hatred down to her children, to the next generation. Yeah. And so when we talk about hatred being something that is learned behavior, we talk about racism being something that was, taught by parents. This is what we mean, because she just gave it away there. She said, don't tell my kids that Black lives matter. So not only are you out here spewing your hate in the world, but you're also passing that hate down to your children.
That's oh my goodness. I missed that part. Thank you so much for bringing attention back to that very first part, because not only is she spreading that hate to her children, she's also, to me, I hear her taking a stand against critical race theory and this entire idea of educating America about its implicit biases and about systemic racism, because to them, this entire thing is all the same. Any attempt to help America to become better by addressing, not absolving, but addressing the problems of white supremacy and racism and the vestiges of slavery and Jim Crow is viewed by white people, conservatives particularly, and some white liberals, to be honest, is viewed as a threat and an affront to their sensibilities. And so I hear that in her statement, too. And I totally missed it. You're right. This was 30 seconds of a densely packed, vitriolic, bigoted tirade.
And the thing about this is, it's very telling, right? For you to say that we don't even care about our own kind. You're making judgments on an entire race of people based on what? Some negative reporting that you see on the news, gun violence in our community. And it saddens me. It saddens me to know that deep inside in the minds of some people in this country, that they fail to see our brilliance. They fail to see our innovation. They fail to see our resourcefulness that we as a people are reduced to. Gun violence, domestic abuse, the same problems that we're seeing symptomatic in other communities as well. But that's all you see. That's all we are to you. And because of those things, because we're not a perfect people, just like, you know, if we judge the entire white race by January 6th, you know, you could say the same thing, right? You could say the same exact thing. But you fail to see our greatness, our excellence, because you're looking at a fraction, you're looking at a microscopic detail. And so because of the actions of a few, you're condemning an entire race of people and saying we don't matter.
One of the things I love about your work, Georgia, is that you know how to cut to the essential question, right? The essential problem in this case, the essential problem here is exactly that. The question is, why do they do that? Right? Either they're unaware of it or they're gaslighting us. And I have come to the conclusion after years and years and years of observing and studying and covering it, studying it on the graduate level and covering it in this journalism world, that they know exactly what they're doing. They are intentionally gaslighting us by doing exactly what you said, Sister Ford. You said that they will take the very worst example, or at least the subtext of what I heard you say was they would take the very worst example that they have, even if they have to create this example, because this woman in this daycare, she probably has never even run into a person that would make her feel this way. But because she's created this caricature of blackness in her mind, she's now angry at the caricature of blackness in her mind. And now she's applying that caricature of blackness that she's created in her delusional mind and applied it to the entirety of the black community. But if we do that based on what they did on January 6th, they'll turn around and say, oh, it's reverse racism. It's on purpose. It's gaslighting. And that's how they have delayed progress. But we're up to their games now.
Alicia Jane, Vice President of Operations of Small World Learning Center. Instead of wasting your time telling the world how much you hate Black people, how about you drive your car down to the offices of the Secretary of State of Minnesota and renew your business license? Because when we looked it up, it's expired.
Wow.
So technically, while you're out here saying how much you hate Black people and how much our lives don't matter, you're operating a business illegally. So on many fronts. Right. And we're starting to see this shift of power, shift of economics ever since the pandemic, ever since George Floyd. I feel like we're seeing these people who have this hate in their heart, and the truth will always come to the light. Believe that. And so if you're out here, and I think this is just fundamentals, and we can wrap this up here. I think it's fundamentals, Ben. You know, I believe in karma. And I do believe that you can't go around treating people like that and expect good to come from it. Yeah. It's just eventually the tide is going to turn. Eventually the truth is going to come to the light and you will be exposed. Absolutely.
Georgia, you came with the receipts. You came ready this morning. I wasn't expecting the business license thing, but my God, how's she going to fix her mouth to say anything bad about Black folks? Is she out here like, you know, she's running a business like hook and crook?
8 locations.
8 locations. And listen, if I was like bootlegging my professional existence, I just shut up and lay low instead of going viral, so everyone can really understand not only that I'm bigoted, but I'm bootlegging my professionalism.
Well, that is all we have time for this morning. I want to thank you all for joining us. Stick around for more on The Benjamin Dixon Show.
Sticks and stones may break my bones.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome again to the Benjamin Dixon Show. Y'all listen to DJ Exclusive. Good morning, everyone.
And it still can't hurt me.
The echo.
No, it just can't hurt me. No.
Jesus. Cats. There we go, y'all. Good morning, everyone. Hope that you're doing well. If you're doing good this morning, y'all. Shout out to everybody this morning. This light is killing me, but we're going to make it work this morning, y'all. Good to be back. Y'all stay tuned. The Benjamin Dixon Show is up next, y'all.
That's when everybody tell me, man, life ain't a beach, it's a female dog. I'm staying 10 toes down, though I still might fall. Oh, yeah, now I done came through.
Birds fly south for the winter, but you ran to the west side. And though much was stolen, much still applies tonight. No, you don't wanna burn bridges, but as time moves on, you slipping away from me. But did the ocean breeze
DJ exclusive, man. Welcome back, brother. Glad to have you back in the saddle doing your thing, man. How's it going?
I'm tired as hell, but I'm here, brother. I'm here.
I hear it in your voice.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get everything right. It's a shit morning. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's okay.
Yeah, man.
But God. I'm alive. But God. I tell you what, man. Hey, man. It's early, and
I got a whole bunch of clips to go over, so I'm gonna knock out these clips, man. Go grab you some coffee and get you a reset. Because it is early. Thing is, for me, I've been up since 2:00 this morning, so that's why. And I'm on coffee, so I'm wired. I can manage it from here. Go get you a reset because we got some stuff we got to cover. David, I want to start with B1. And I want to start with this so that I can give you the full context of this conversation. There is a conversation that's happening in this country, and it's a false conversation. I want to start off by saying that this is not a real argument, but it's an argument that has been going on in this country for a long time. The argument between capitalism and socialism. And I want to show you in this segment that no matter how far Joe Biden and Democrats go to try to pacify the capitalists, they will always be seen as radical, tyrannical, socialist, communist, Maoist, fascist, Leninist, any other word that conservatives can actually string together in a coherent sentence. They will throw at Joe Biden no matter how many times he tries to tell them that he is a good, God-fearing capitalist. They don't care because it's never enough. Take a look at this clip of Joe Biden as he discusses that capitalism is alive and very well. And then I want to discuss how people responded, how conservatives responded to the president. Let's take a look at the first clip.
Companies across the country are giving workers a raise, unusual thing. And the number of new unemployment claims has been cut by more than half since I took office. And by the way, 2 weeks ago, I issued a major executive order promoting fair and open competition, which is the cornerstone of American capitalism. Banning non-compete clauses that suppress workers' wages, lowering the price of things like hearing aids, prescription drugs, internet service, along with dozens of other actions. Folks, it turns out capitalism is alive and very well. We're making serious progress to ensure that it works the way it's supposed to work, for the good of the American people. So for all those predictions of doom and gloom 6 months in, here's where we stand. Record growth. Record job creation, workers getting hard-earned breaks. Look, we brought this economy back from the brink, and we've designed our strategy not only to provide for a temporary boost, but to lay the foundation for a long-term.
To lay the foundation for long-term growth. So Joe Biden is trying to make sure that all of the capitalists in America understand that everything's fine, folks. We got it under control. The economy is booming and the economy is growing. Here's the ridiculous thing about this. Anyone who has the idea in their mind that there's anything about America that is remote, I don't care if you're talking about Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, Joe Biden. We could go back to Jimmy Carter. There has not been a Democratic president in the last 40 years who has done anything remotely socialistic. And so it is like they're running. The Democratic establishment in Joe Biden is running away from the specter of socialism and communism because the Republicans have gotten so good at scaring everyone that everything that the government does is boom, socialism. And so this is a statement from Joe Biden, and here's the result of it, right? I don't care about the names and the philosophy and the precise definitions of it, because that's pedantic. What I care about is that Republicans have used this tactic time and again, and Democrats either willingly do it or they are useful idiots in the form of Lucy and Charlie Brown. Democrats consistently try to prove to Republicans that they are good, God-fearing capitalists, and no matter what they do, no matter how not Bill Clinton rolled back welfare and rolled back every aspect of this government that actually brought a benefit to the people, no matter how Medicare, Obamacare. No matter how Obamacare is actually a Republican piece of legislation. Let's just call a spade a spade. Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, passed in 2010 underneath Barack Obama, came from the Heritage Foundation, which is a conservative think tank. Obamacare was first put into practice by Mitt Romney in Massachusetts, a Republican governor. And so no matter how much Democrats try to capitulate and say we're good, God-fearing capitalists, it has never been enough for Republicans. And Republicans have used that willingness for Democrats to capitulate to continuously move the ball further and further to the right. Here's the next clip of Joe Biden discussing trickle-down economics. But here's the gag, Joe Biden. Your constant servitude towards the idea of capitalism is what is literally empowering trickle-down economics. But you did get this clip right. Let's take a look at the second clip.
What we can't do is go back to the same old trickle-down theories that gave us nearly $2 trillion in deficit finance corporate tax giveaways. It did nothing to make our economy more productive or resilient. The same people who cheered on that approach are now telling us it isn't a problem if big companies have actually to compete for workers and offer them a fair wage with some dignity. I could not disagree more. We can't go back to the old failed thinking.
Trickle-down economics is a failed economic theory, and we have the evidence to prove it. There was a report that came out about 5 years ago in 2016 that showed that trickle-down economics, neoliberal economic theory, the Chicago School of Economic Thought, that is taught in every university, by the way. I want to be sure for everyone who thinks that we're in the middle of a socialist revolution, I can tell you as a socialist that I could barely find any academic training on the master's level or the PhD level that would undergird my socialism. Only thing I was taught in academia was a Chicago style of economic theory. And that is trickle-down economics. And we have definitive evidence now that shows that nothing trickled down except for poverty and despair. The gag is this, Joe Biden, while you are absolutely correct in that clip, your servitude to the idea of capitalism as it is defined by Republicans, which is an ever moving goalpost. No matter what you do, they're going to always call you a socialist. But it is your servitude to the idea of Republican capitalism that is empowering trickle down economic theory. All right. I want to show you why this pays no benefits for Democrats. This next clip is from a conspiracy, a radical right wing conspiracy theorist by the name of Rick Wiles. And he is calling for civil war to put a stop to the Biden administration's supposed communist revolution. And he actually even said, let's get to Gettysburg and address this. I want to say this again. Yesterday, Joe Biden said how much we love capitalism. What did the right wing conspiracy group respond with? Oh, we got to have a civil war to stop Biden's socialist revolution. Let's take a look at that clip.
Stop being nice about these people. Look, I'm guilty of being too diplomatic and too nice. These are not good people. They're not good people.
They're evil, and
they're evil, and they're wicked.
And they want us dead.
And they want us dead. Let's get it out on the table here.
They called us assassins.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's get it out on the table. They're wicked, they're evil, they're not good. And they want us dead. Is that clear enough?
It's clear as day.
I say let's meet at Gettysburg. Get this over with.
Hey, listen, this is the times we're in. I mean, this is the reality. These people are ruling and reigning over us.
A bunch of sissified lefties would never come out and meet real men. Never. They're cowards. They're a bunch of cowards. They never would come out and face real men.
Yeah, and real patriots that love this country.
That is just the first half of what is most assuredly one of the most deranged clips that I've heard in a long time. Meet at Gettysburg. Over what, Rick? The fact that the president of the United States loves capitalism? Over the fact that we're fighting for Black lives? Over the fact that we're standing up for the actual history of this country, which is inclusive of the experience of oppressed people? Yes, critical race theory. What is it that you want to meet us on the battlefield for, Rick? And what is it that you intend to do yourself personally? Or are you trying to encourage people to get up and do something that you are too cowardly to do yourself? Next half.
Patriots that love this country.
That's right. They'll never do it.
Nope.
There's nothing but stinking cowards. I'm fed up with putting up with their crap. I'm a free man. I live in a free country. And men died for this country. And on my watch, in my generation, we're watching it being taken from us, and we're too lazy to stop it. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves. We ought to be ashamed that we're allowing these cowards to take our country. We don't want to be inconvenienced with putting down a communist revolution.
Well, too bad it's here.
Yeah, it's here. And if the people don't do something very, very soon, you're going to end up in a concentration camp. And after that, you're going to end up in a grave.
I want you to let that resonate for a second. I want you to let that resonate with you for a second. Here, the president of the United States just went through painstaking efforts to make sure that everyone knows that last week he said communism is dead. This week, the president said capitalism is alive. The response to that, Joe Biden, was that they see you as a Marxist who needs to be met on the battlefield of Gettysburg. There is no negotiation or triangulation with these people. You cannot negotiate with terrorists. You cannot be reasonable with unreasonable people. You cannot be, you got to understand the score, Democrats. We're fighting against a different breed of Republican that would most assuredly burn this country to the ground and see you literally locked up because you don't believe in the same exact particular white Republican Jesus that they believe in, let alone fighting for Black lives. They would definitely lock you up for that. They would lock you up for not believing in the same white Republican Jesus, gun-toting, Medicare charging Jesus that they serve than to ever think for a second that what we should do in this country is actually do something that benefits all people, not just white conservative Christian men like Rick Wiles. Here's a gag, though. The gag is, folks, that it doesn't stay. This type of ignorance never just stays as an economic form of bigotry where they would be satisfied just exploiting poor people. You would think that they would be satisfied because they're rich and they have the ability to exploit and live like gods. And no. That's not enough for them to get rich. They also have to make sure that as many people as possible get infected and die from COVID-19 as possible. I want to go to D1. This is from CNN, Pamela Brown's. She's saying, couldn't you argue that enforcing the mask mandate is part of your role in protecting unvaccinated kids? In a conversation with Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanova. I think I got that right. If I didn't, let's run the clip and get the context of it, because it always spills over. It never remains just a conversation about economics and them having all the money and the wealth trickle up. It always goes further into bigotry, and now we see it extending into the anti-vax QAnon COVID conspiracy group. Let's take a look at it.
Interviewed the health official there who was imposed this mask mandate that you had mentioned earlier. A lot of this was about the unvaccinated, including children that can't get vaccinated yet. And as we've seen, there is a big explosion of cases there in LA County. Do you see this also? I mean, couldn't you argue that enforcing a mask mandate is part of your role in protecting these kids, Sheriff?
You may be trying to tug at heartstrings, but your argument falls apart when 99.9% of everyone who's in the hospital right now in the ERs and the ICUs are the unvaccinated. We have to get the unvaccinated. So that's what vaccinated.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to pull at heartstrings. I'm just looking at the facts here that kids under the age of 12 can't get vaccinated. And so doctors say it's about protecting them as well.
Well, just like any population is vulnerable, you got to pick and choose where you're going to expose yourself. So if kids under 12 were not vaccinated, well, then their parents really need to pick and choose exactly where they're going to expose them publicly. And that's going to be up to the individual family member to understand that and make those risk assessments on an individual basis.
That is the voice of Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanova saying that you're on your own with your kids. He was speaking to CNN's Pamela Brown, who was making the argument that enforcing the mask mandate is something that we should do on behalf of trying to save our kids. And he's like, the LA, this is LA sheriff, county sheriff, saying, well, that's just too bad. You got to protect your kids on your own. I want to couch this in the context of the conversation about capitalism, because I need you to take a pause and think about something, America. These are the same philosophical descendants of the people they had to make labor laws against in order to protect their children from being exploited for labor, for cheap labor, for capitalism. Is there any reason we should believe that the very ideology that sent their children into coal mines and into factories because their hands were small enough to get into the intricate components of their machines, right? And they exploited children so much so that the federal government had to get involved and actually make child labor laws. Is it any surprise to any of us that the intellectual descendants of those same people are now looking at your children and say, COVID-19, you're on your own? No, it's no surprise. The UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, he had something to say, and I want to internationalize this conversation because that level of ignorance and bigotry that exists in the United States is not endemic only to the United States. Listen to this clip from Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister in the UK.
Further restrictions no longer prevent hospitalizations and deaths, but simply delay the inevitable. And so we have to ask ourselves the question, if not now, when? And though both deaths and hospitalizations, as I say, are sadly rising, these numbers are well within the margins of what our scientists predicted at the outset of the roadmap.
So further restrictions no longer prevent hospitalizations and deaths. That assertion is as absurd as Boris Johnson's hair. And why is it these rich, conservative, mediocre white men globally, like, y'all got enough money to get your hair done properly? Like, dude, really? What is this? It is ridiculous to be the leader of a nation and absolutely not only do nothing that's in the best interest of your people, but to absolutely say the opposite. The level of misinformation that is allowed to come from elected officials is staggering. These people are getting humans killed, disproportionately poor, disproportionately black, because we are the ones on the front line in this pandemic. The ridiculous absurdity of the idea that restrictions and protections, keeping people away from crowds in the middle of a pandemic, keeping people wearing masks in the middle of a pandemic. We are at the beginning stages of the Delta variant. Phase 3 of this pandemic, and the Prime Minister of the UK is so absurd that he's now verbally saying that actual restrictions that have been proven to be effective are no longer going to be helpful in preventing death, even as death is increasing because we have lifted restrictions. This is the range. This is the full range of the level of stupidity that we are dealing with. But it's not just stupidity. It is a level of complex interconnectedness between the relationship between white conservative liberals who have no regard whatsoever, not liberals, rather conservatives in this case, because Boris Johnson is certainly a conservative. Rick Wiles is certainly a conservative. The LA sheriff is certainly conservative. It's not just conservatives, but I just need us to pause and reflect at the extent to which this type of thought will go. They'll meet you on the streets of Gettysburg, on the fields of Gettysburg, because they think they're in the middle of a communist revolution, when the corporate tax rate is so low that we have fewer dollars going into the coffers of our government than ever before. But we're in a communist revolution. It was the people of the Republican Party, the QAnon conspiracy theorists that marched up the steps of the Capitol on January 6th. Not communists, not socialists, not even black people. Nope. It was white, aggrieved, conservative men and women who marched up the steps of the Capitol with the full confidence of their mediocrity, thinking that they actually had something to be aggrieved over, thinking that they had a legitimate cause. They really believe that they are the people who are oppressed in this country, and they have created this simultaneous delusion where they are in positions of power, able to execute their own twisted will on the lives of all of us. That LA County sheriff that you just heard from, that guy has the ability to arrest, has the ability to kill. Rick Wiles, the preacher you just listened to, he has the full authority of his pulpit to preach this to millions of people across the television every single day. To hear the level of derangement that is in the minds of conservatives at a time when this country is reeling in the aftermath of 600,000 people being dead, but that's not enough. And it's not just happening in this country. It's happening across the world. There is a level of solidarity between mediocre, bigoted white people and their reaction towards all of the people that their Western civilization colonized, oppressed, exploited. They are so fearful of what they did to us because now we are responding. We are responding, but we're not going to meet you on the battlefields of Gettysburg, my man, Rick Wiles. We'll meet you in the halls of Congress. We'll meet you in the halls of the state houses. We're going to meet you in every place that you actually fear us the most. You would love for us to come out there and pull guns because we know this system would have killed us if we marched up those steps on January 6th. We would have been dead already. We're just a little too smart for you all, Rick. That said, let's get ready to go to a break. When we come back, I'm going to be joined by Rebecca Zor, DJ Exclusive. We're going to go over into Like It or Not. We have, I don't know, at least 6 more clips, maybe 10. I don't know. We have a lot to cover because the ignorance is strong with this one, with this country. Oh, man. James, I'm just reading that. I wanted to give you enough time, man, to do your thing, bro. Did you see? I ain't even gonna lie. I saw your comment about Boris Johnson's hair. That's why I went off on that riff about that man's hair.
I heard you laughing in the background. I was like, I'm like, what the hell? You got all this money and your head looking like that? Okay. On national TV?
On international TV, bro.
On international TV.
Why these people?
I know we don't have any hair and we can't talk. God damn.
At least you know. Listen, it's like it would be equivalent to my beard. Me coming out here in my beard game, looking like I don't know. I was going to say somebody, but I was probably going to get canceled for who I was going to say. But the point is, at least we groom our beards. I know we don't have hair on our heads, but why is Boris Johnson and Donald Trump, why are they a whole mess? All that money and you can't get some basic plugs and then get a trim. Like I see dudes going into the barbershop, James, coming out, going in bald as us, coming out with waves and dogs, right around the corner, right there in Pompano Beach. You could do that, right? Any hood barbershop, you could go in as bald as me and James and come out looking brand new. But Boris Johnson and Donald Trump can't get their hair together and they, billionaires and oligarchs.
Okay. Go ahead, throw Major Tater Greens in there. Looking a mess too. Ooh, don't forget Candace. Ooh, them edges be all over the place.
You see what white supremacy do to your... Anyway,
I said white supremacist name.
I said I wasn't going to talk about her edges anymore, but I'm going to let you do it, James. Take us to a break. When we come back, more Like It or Not, Rebecca Zor clips. We got a clip of Marjorie Taylor Greene, too, for that matter. We'll take a look at them edges that she got.
Her edges need to take a break.
We get down to the beat, y'all. We get down to the beat.
Don't get me started. All they had need to take a break. Like, damn, well, y'all got all that money and that's how y'all choose to look? Okay. Okay. You see what's important to y'all. Good morning again, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. Hope y'all are enjoying the show thus far, man. Make sure you stay tuned. Like it or not, it's coming up next with Rebecca Azor. That's my sister, y'all. I ain't seen my sister in like forever, and I'm so excited to see her. I'm excited to see Ben as well too, and David's back, so I'm like excited. So yeah. Anyway, y'all stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff coming up, man. So make sure that you stay tuned. Don't want to miss this. All right, y'all, here we go. Our new members, our new patrons. Here we go, y'all. We're going to take the vocals out right quick. Hey. Every morning, baby. Whatever she say. All right, y'all, here we go. New patron list, new patron members for the past week. David, this is what happens when you go. All right, y'all, our new members. We have Catherine M. Like, 1 second, though, before I do that. Just want y'all to know I really, really did miss y'all. Really love y'all. And I appreciate all the love, respect, everything that y'all give us every day on this show, man. We couldn't do this without you. So we appreciate you, man. We ask that y'all keep on supporting. Y'all stay tuned. We got a lot of good stuff coming up, man. Y'all stay tuned, stay strong, all right? Anyway, back to what I was doing. Here we go, y'all. New members. We have Captain M, Andrea F, Kausar M. Here we go. Sorry, Kausar, if I said that wrong. Adam Silva, Deborah R. We have Antoinette 81 who increased their pledge. We also have our new line Patreon members. We have Parker, Shelby R, Deborah S, Benjamin S. New Twitch subscribers. We have Sneaky Peek. We have Elmira 79. I'm sorry, Eli Maria 79. MXS Slytherin. All right. Tiger Katsume 13. We appreciate the Tiger. Ellie Fried Comrade. We have Impulsum 586. Our resubscribers, we have Butternut Squash. Butternuts 3281 who resubscribed. Brother Goku just saying. We have Gambling Blues, C Cloud 8, Dread 2D Max, Destinovas, and Funky Pug 313. We appreciate y'all, the resubscribers. Our gifted subscriptions, we have CY Viz X, Civis X, there we go, who gifted 2 subscriptions. We have Mimosa Dragon who gifted subscriptions to Melanie D44, Rachel Letney, Jay DeBoy 40. Hey, that's me, y'all, on Twitch. Hey, and Marcus for Left Flank Vets, man. Mimosa Dragon, we appreciate you. JN Lee 1981, who gifted subscriptions to Antisocial Communist, and Big Buddha 7724. I like that name, Big Buddha. All right. Sammy Lynn, the Kind Dragon, resubscribed and gifted 1 subscription to Watch My 666. Love it. Chicken Fried Dragon gifted subscriptions to Renardis, Absurd, Jacati 1, and Sankofa CSD. We have Siscat who cheered 100 bits, and Silver Knight Dragon who cheered 300 bits. Man, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We can't do this without you. So shout out again. If you're not a patron member yet, you can join and become a patron member. Help support the show, y'all. Patreon.com/LikeItOrNot. I almost forgot. Patreon.com/LikeItOrNot, man. So, in order to let me make sure my brother hears this song again, we're going to take it. Lipsa Morrison, good morning. I appreciate you. Yeah. Woo! All right, y'all. That was a good jam session. I hope y'all appreciate it. Now it is time to start Like It or Not. So make sure that you stay tuned. It's about to go down.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Let me go ahead and say it. Good morning, Rebecca, what's wrong with your camera?
It's just a lot happening. I got
the same thing this morning too, Charles. It's like, what is going on with this equipment today?
Oh, man. Welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
And not care who doesn't like it.
Oh, we're going to give you time, especially get that microphone switched in so people can hear that good microphone. Welcome to everyone.
Can you guys hear me now?
There it is. There it is.
It's away
Come on,
from
studio.
Me. Yeah.
Now you sound like you're in the studio. Good morning.
I struggle every morning to log in because it doesn't work for some reason. I have it set up and it doesn't work on the damn Safari. It only works in.
Who uses Safari? Who uses Safari?
Me all day long, because when I tell y'all I hate Chrome, I mean, Chrome is just good for the incognito stuff, but that's it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing it's good for.
Yeah, so I don't need to incognito anything. So but I do know incognito very well when I did need to incognito.
When you need to creep, when you need to anonymously go to somebody's timeline, you know how to switch to that incognito mode, Rebecca.
Well, yeah, it wasn't people's timelines, but it was incognito days, but I don't do that anymore.
Right.
Whatever you incognito for, that's your prerogative.
It's your prerogative.
As long as it's not illegal.
Right. It's
your prerogative.
As long as you're not hurting nobody, we won't ask. We don't want to know. It's your business. That's good.
Yeah. As long as you're not doing it at the people's job. Now, hold on. Now, wait a second.
I was gonna say because that's exactly where I'm going.
If you do apply for another job because your manager's acting up, and you just
all the way up,
incognito to do what you need to do to start planning for your future without stress. Do what you got to do.
Rebecca, sounds like there's a story associated with that somewhere that I don't
do that though, because I feel like I used to do that though, and be at the job and be incognito and be like, this manager just want to disrespect me. Nowadays, I'm like, you're not gonna like shoo me away. It's not happening.
Right.
Like, I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of you. And that, like I was telling you yesterday, Ben, one thing about the workplace nowadays, I used to be really, really afraid of. And it's because they made it that way. I used to be really afraid of the higher ups because they had my future in their hands. They had my paycheck in their hands. And they could always just make me feel that I needed to work a little harder or they can take away my hours. And now I wouldn't be able to make ends meet because they didn't like me. They would take away my hours at the job. Y'all remember those days where they would make you have like, instead of having the full 40 that week, you come and you're like 28 hours and the person that never comes to work is a full 40 hours that week?
Full 40, yep.
That used to be terrible.
That threshold, what's the threshold? Because it's been a minute for me. 35. You got 35 hours a week to get. They trying to keep people from getting benefits.
Not only that, they know that you need the money. Those jobs didn't come with benefits, man. Those are those.
I ain't trying to flex at all, but I had to leave that world alone. After I got spoiled on one actually good corporate America job, I could never look back at some of these raggedy jobs.
Exactly. So once you
no benefits, they don't want to give you no health care, nothing, and they just want
once
you to work.
Free yourself, you will never allow these people to treat you this way. So yesterday, while I was at work, so here's the story. So yesterday, while I was at work, as they, I told you guys yesterday, candidly, that I have a meeting and I don't know what the meeting is about. And also, don't mind my missing nails. I got my nail appointment on Thursday, Friday.
Nobody listening. There's a good.
I talk with my hands, so I don't want them to be like, Rebecca's missing nails. I am. These are my vacation nails. It's time to go. But
this is a pro tip, Rebecca. We got more people who listen than watch, so they would never have even known unless you told them.
For the ones who are watching that may be concerned, I have my nail appointment. He just wasn't available. He's so booked. But anywho, shout out to Hilda and shout out to Drew. But no, seriously, she yesterday. It's almost like they bullied me last week to let me know that they're going to be having a meeting with me on Monday, trying to put fear in me. And here go me planning on how I'm going to respectfully disrespect them, and that's the problem because I'm not afraid of them. I used to be, when my manager used to tell me, hey, I need to have a meeting with you. Ooh, my little legs get to shaking.
And then I'm like, I need this job. If I go home and I tell my mom I don't have this job, she's going to say that I never could hold down a job. I just, like all of that, just pressure. Then I'm like, I can't even pay my rent on time. If I multiply and divide, it doesn't add up.
The
rent,
cry
like all kinds of things. It used to really kill me, like bad. And I didn't have money for a therapist. I didn't have money to help with anxiety. I didn't have money. It was just stressful. And so that was back in the days. Now, today, who I am as a person and as a woman, as a 31-year-old woman who deserves respect as an employee of a corporate company because she gives respect to the supervisors, the company itself. Okay? She's like, we're going to talk about it on Monday, and it's going to be, what do we discuss? Was it written something? I don't know what those things are. I don't know corporate life like that. So when I heard that, I'm like, just write me up. I don't care. Like, take me to detention. I don't even care. Like, I don't
take you to detention.
So that's how I felt. But truth be told, once you have those on your record at the job, you can't go up. You can't go down. You can't go sideways. Yeah. So this is basically how they want to do you. And then the more you get, it affects you. I think.
But they also don't want to fire you because then that's going to be unemployment benefits.
The more of those you get, they can fire you and then not allow you to get unemployment. But my thing is like, at this point, I'm going to get unemployment anyway. If they do, let me go because I'm doing my job. But anyway, I say all that to say, Monday comes, no meeting.
This is the meeting. This is the meeting that the job they put the fear of God in you on the weekend.
On Friday, right?
I was ready to cuss them out. Yeah.
And then they didn't have the meeting with you at all.
They did. And now I had to save my cuss out. But then she ends up writing and saying, hey, about your hours specifically on. And I could just hear this, about your hours specifically on it. And I wrote her, yes, we spoke about that on Friday already. Are we revisiting that conversation again? And she was like, I know we spoke about it, but what were those hours again? Lined them out for her. Told her when I, came in, got out, because I'm the child for some reason, because the time that I put in the system just isn't right. How they told me to do it, and I just feel like a kid, right? So then she's just like, can you just, because what I have for you here, I said, well, what I have for myself here, I screenshot, send it to you in email. I also forwarded to you in our Skype. If you can revisit that as well, that would be great. I have a few calls to answer right now, a few emails to answer, and then I will get back to you later. That was me, because this is the same conversation we had on Friday that she wanted to come back with on Monday. Anyways, the long story short, at the end of the day, everybody was having system issues, and she was kikiing with them and saying stuff like, when's the time to go home? I said, and I wrote out of nowhere, it should be now. And then I wrote, everybody was writing, and I don't even write in the group. Everybody was writing, y'all. Everybody was writing in this group and saying stuff like, hey, what are you doing after this? And I wrote, I'm going to have me an adult beverage and listen to Jasmine Sullivan because I deserve. And everybody was like, yes. And then I wrote, okay, guys, goodbye, right? And she says, no. There's about 3.5 minutes left. I said, I'm leaving the chat. I'm still here. And then I said, I'm leaving the chat prematurely, everybody. So I bid you guys a early good night, because the way that I'll be logging out and slamming my Chromebook shut.
You won't give them time to stick. That's like when we leave the Zoom meeting. Y'all be killing me when y'all leave the Zoom meeting and we didn't even get the chance to say have a great and y'all go.
Sometimes I hang around because David is still nervously laughing on the line. Sometimes I used to hang around for that, but
David, our producer. Let's get to this first story real quick.
Real quick, y'all. Real quick. Bezos just blasted his ass off in space, and I just want y'all to know it looked like a flying dildo going through the air.
I didn't want to be the one to say it, James. I've been thinking about that the entire time.
I didn't see it.
That ship that Jeff Bezos is blasting off looks exactly like him, a big dick. That's what it looks like.
I haven't seen it.
Like it's just happened like right now. I just blasted off like maybe 4 minutes ago. So it's like looking on the TV. I'm like, it look like a. Okay, never mind.
Big, because it's fitting. Look, they are a billionaire who treats his employees. Listen, let me tell you something. It is fitting that a billionaire who treats his employees like crap would be seen flying into space in something that looks like a big dildo. That said, Paul Hoskins.
Dick is beautiful. Like,
come on, wait.
Nice.
We're gonna save that for the after party. No.
What I'm saying is, what God created, whatever you got done or whatever it is, it's nice. Okay,
stop it.
Hey, I'm done. I'm sorry.
That's the after party. If you want access,
people that are like that and they jump right in that.
I'm about to mute Rebecca. Well, I don't have the controls anymore.
All right, I'm this is over. I don't know where I was going with that.
If you want the rest of that conversation,
I know where you was going with that, Rebecca.
Like it or not, Patreon.com/like it or not. Come to the after party for the rest of that conversation. That said, January 6th, the first terrorist of the J. Oh my God, what kind of show have we created?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go there, but I did. I didn't want to be disrespecting with some beautiful things in the earth.
Hey, stop.
Ain't it beautiful though, Rebecca? Girl,
that's all I'm saying.
I was waiting for James. I knew James. I was counting down in my head. I said,
that's all I'm saying. Like, you saying like this man, but that's beautiful sometimes.
We were going good. Rebecca started back up.
Okay. Listen. I know how to bring y'all back in. I know how to bring us back in. I think I don't know. Be bad. I don't know if there's any recovery. I want y'all to take a look at this clip. This is a clip of Paul Hoskins. He's the first January 6th terrorist charged with a felony, and he is only going to receive 8 months in prison for treason. Now, historically, the penalty for treason has been death. Historically, this guy got 8 months in prison. Now, this first clip is just outlining that is the case and how absurd it is for people who attacked the Capitol, who infiltrated the office of the Speaker of the House, who is the third most powerful person on the face of the planet in the line of succession. There is the president, vice president, and then if the case something happens to the vice president, it goes to the Speaker of the House. That's what was infiltrated on January 6th. And all this Paul Hoskins got was 8 months in jail. Let's take a look at the first clip.
38-year-old Paul Hodgkins, who took a 38-year-old Paul Hodgkins, who took a bus from Tampa, Florida to the Capitol, walked inside to the Senate floor carrying a bag with goggles and rope and carrying a Trump flag, Trump 2020. He has now been sentenced to 8 months in prison with 2 years after that of supervised release. And John, I will note that the hearing is just wrapped up. The defendant here not remanded, so that means he will walk out of court here before he eventually reports for his sentence. So we could potentially hear from him.
On his own, he's a free man. He attacked the Capitol and got 8 months.
8 months. People doing life sentences for weed.
Say that again, Rebecca.
People are doing life sentences for weed. And this man with this glorious Marilyn Manson type hair who wants to fight for America, right? Is that what he was doing? Because we didn't get that. He literally put a lot of people's lives. He was one person amongst so many who put a lot of people's lives in danger, including the people who work, who you guys being the patriotic Americans swear up and down are in place to, protect and save when it was under Trump. But as soon as it was not under Trump anymore, everybody was free to possibly get murdered, zip-tied, maimed, whatever they were going with, right? And this man gets 8 months. But a man who wants to feed his kids, right, and can't afford to get no job because they won't take him because of how he looks, because of his record, or whatever the case may be, or the job isn't paying him enough, so he has to sell on the side because that's all he can do to make an ends meet. He gets a life sentence. He gets 20 to life or whatever because he's selling weed. I didn't say crack cocaine. Meth, because they go to rehab. Those white ones that do that, they go to rehab or they start a business in it. But this man, gets to walk free, and he's only one of so many that we are literally going to pull up on a year in January, and a lot of them are just walking free. I think one woman can fly. She gonna drive, but she just can't fly.
So here's a good question: And we are going to see the differences of the justice system. That brother that was there at that January 6th attack, let's see how long he's going to get.
Yeah.
If anybody has any information on that, let's see how long he's going to get. Because honestly, excuse me, what we said before this, we already know what's going to happen. But 8 months for walking y'all ass in the home of America.
Yeah.
Y'all walked y'all ass in there, you only getting 8 months?
8 months, bruh. 8 months. Like, I'm trying to sit here and think. I got another clip. I'm sitting here trying to think what crime could I actually commit and only get 8 months? That's the way I'm thinking about it. Like, you know what I mean?
Not a thing as a black man. If you spank your kid and a white caring person is watching and doesn't think that's right and calls the police on you and says that's child abuse, you're going to have to go through so many courses, anger management. And I'm talking about if you just tap your kid, and you know when I use the word tap, that's like
pop that behind. You just swat that behind real quick because they did.
And I've seen this, and like where a woman sees that, and the next thing you know, she reports that on a woman who just tapped her kid, and all of a sudden, there's this whole thing. She has to go to anger management. She has to do all of this, and it was like for over a year, and she had to do scheduled visits with her kid.
Wow. For a whole year. 8 months for treason. Here's the next clip. Now, again, the man's name is Paul Hodgkins, and his attorney's name is Patrick LeDuc. And this is what he said in this clip. He says, the client did something honorable. January 6th was honorable and good, but actually taking responsibility for his treason is what's honorable and good. Now, the client still contends that he went up there on behalf of his rights to free speech, right? But he's getting off because he's done the right thing by taking credit for what he's done, taking responsibility. Let's take a look at that clip.
You know, if you want to go in there and you want to defend that, that's not defensible. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I would say that to all of them that were there. They need to come in, they need to step up, they need to accept responsibility and do what Paul did. And I hope in some ways that Paul has done something good for the country. Isn't it interesting that something as horrible as happened on January 6th, that maybe Mr. Hodgkins did something, that he took something like January 6th and now has turned it, today's July 20th, into something that the nation can look at and say, you know what, there's something honorable here.
Something honorable,
James. Yeah, I got it. I got nothing.
Is it honorable? Because what is he saying that's honorable? Please help me.
Did he turn himself in?
That's what it is.
Wasn't that honorable? Because that was in January. Okay, yeah. So we are in what now? We in August, baby. Because you know how black folks do. It's July 20th.
We round up.
We round up, baby. We in August. We already mid-August, and here he is coming over here saying that, you know, this is honorable. This man, this is January 6th. Them boys went to hiding. They went to their jobs. They went to go do their things while the feds was telling us to help them find folks. Right. They were safe.
That's what it was. Hodgkins snitched. That's why
look how he flicked his hair.
He snitched.
That's exactly what it is.
That's Dow Festoon shampoo. He's giving he's been in hiding so much that he is now pale. Because in that first, and if you see him with that flag,
go back to the first one.
He had a little color in his skin. A little, a little
flag. Wait, put the first flag. Yeah, okay, so you said
now red because sun been beating that at. But now if you go to him walking out of that, he literally looks like a corpse.
Look at this.
He's giving me, I haven't gotten sun, been hiding.
His edges are growing back and his booty getting bigger.
Yes.
Look at his hair. He's so relaxed.
I practiced my Karen walk because the other one was my KKK, Billy Bob and them. Now, when he came out of that courtroom, it was, I'm going to put on my best Karen I could possibly
put it back on the screen.
Gay. I don't know, because I heard America like that hair. So I might give you a little something like this. You just never know. That's what he's giving me.
Did you see the Karen wave he gave?
Rebecca, y'all, he went in like this.
Yeah.
But came out like this. Hi, guys.
Exactly.
No, hey, wait a minute. Wait. He came out with a British accent, bro. He went in like Rebecca and came out like. I mean, did you see his wave at the end? He waved like, yeah, I got 8 months. I got 8 months.
No, he gave me, where's your manager? No, he gave me
pausing
your manager.
Wait, I need you to pause right where he waved. Right where he waved, David, because it's the most caring look. He's like, yeah, I snitched on the rest of those white supremacists. Yes, I totally snitched on you and Boogaloo Boys. Boogaloo Boys, I ratted you out. I'm going home in 8 months, though.
I talked to the manager for everyone, and they gave me a free deal. See you bitches later. That's exactly what he gave. But it's not on January 6th. It was like, we're going to get them again. Like, Trump is our president, and Trump will always be our president. Okay? And they literally, you can tell, they tapped on their cousins they haven't talked to in years to come on to this January 6th joint. They tapped on their cousin they haven't talked to in years. The one that they like, the one that lives in the woods. Yeah, we don't
run that B-roll, man.
They tapped him to come on. All the crew. He did that. And then we didn't know that he was actually living. See what he looking like? He's trained for this. He actually lives in the suburbs. He actually has a nice big house and has 2 little girls.
You mean he's at home? He's at home. He's at home watching Space Jam now. Y'all done changed this man from whatever he was. I need you to pause it, David. And we're going to interpret this. There's 2 different looks. There's the January 6th look. And we got a whole lot more clips to go through. But this is the January 6th look. This was the Billy Bob Jesus. Billy Ray? This was the Billy Ray Jesus.
I hear a sound.
Yes. I hear a sound. Hey. There's a sound. There's a sound.
There's a sound.
Yeah.
Impeachment.
What did it say, Bubba?
Impeachment.
Right there. Something shot up right in my bones. Something shot up right in my shanana. Not shanana.
Not shanana.
You know what they do. They gonna take that thing and gentrify it. Oh, in my shanana.
This is he was standing right next to the guy who that dude took a whole shofar. You know the horn they use. He was standing next to the guy who was in the Senate blowing. There's a guy. Literally, I was joking, but literally, there's a guy, the shaman guy, right there, the seat of the Speaker of the House.
Yeah,
and this man got 8 months. There's
a man right behind him that I don't know if he's actually white.
Right.
Not too sure.
He's something.
He's giving me something. And it might be the Aryan race of whatever he is.
Oh, yes. Thank you. That's the Senate chamber. Senate chamber. Big distinction, but still the same thing. That's the Senate chamber. Now, I want us to fast forward to where he got set free because he got 8 months. That man walked home for free. His Vidal Sassoon haircut looks so fresh and so clean. He's so happy. He's not talking like he was
a totally different man.
Oh, look at his waistline. Hey, y'all playing. His waist.
That waist snatched.
You hear me? He came out like, hey.
Look back at it. He came back looking at it.
Pilates.
He came back looking back at it.
I bet she was.
That's what he's giving me. He's giving me Peloton at the house.
That's all that is.
Yes. Yes.
James, for the listening audience.
He on that soap diet. That's what
he will be on the soap diet.
Listen. I can't make those jokes because I am not a part of the LGBTQIA community, but James, have at it.
I mean, he looked totally different. The first picture, his skin was hard and just looked rough. Now he back is all soft and stuff. Oh, okay,
he's giving the Addams family. I don't want to disrespect the Addams family, but anywho, I really, honestly, at the end of the day, let's wrap it up because it's wrong that he is literally going to serve 8 months. And
8 months, bro.
To this day, there are people who are serving God 20 to life, bro, because they decided to change, or 5 years because they decided to change an address for their child to go to a better school.
Go to school.
Right.
Come on.
So don't miss me with this 8 months crap because that's nothing. And I bet you he's going to act like he's dying in there, and he will have requests that will possibly be met that we probably will never know about. So,
and of course, they're going to, what is it called? Community sentence, whatever the hell it is. He ain't going to serve 8 goddamn months. Guaranteed he ain't going to serve 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just hurt the hell out. I don't know what I just did in my finger. But
I don't know. It was like, was it the one like the funny bone that you hit? Because it almost hit you in every shoulder just now.
Something in my pinky, man. I ain't never had pain in my pinky like that before. I'm used to it.
You was like, it hurt.
I figured I might as well tell the audience because I know y'all just saw my face grimace like that.
I'm like, yeah, Ben, it's crazy. Sure.
I mean, I want to add one. We're listening. People are listening, so they ain't see it. Ben,
they don't know what I could have kept it to myself.
You could have kept it to yourself.
I want to add this. I want to add this one last detail about January 6th. There's a story that CNN reported from the Proud Boys leader who pled guilty to burning a DC church Black Lives Matter banner, and the guy's name is Enrique Tarrio, and he's considered to be one of the leaders of the Proud Boys. And I'm going to tie this in through this way, James, because you're the first one that really just caught it, that the reason this guy got 8 months, whatever his name was, the Billy Ray Jesus got 8 months, is because he snitched. Well, we know for certain that this leader of the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio, he snitched because they arranged his arrest. The arrest that got him off the streets before January 6th was arranged by the FBI to make sure that their informant wouldn't get caught up on January 6th. And so the snitching is real. White supremacists, they done ran up the steps of the Rome Capitol. They thought they could get away with it. And in order to save their collective asses, they're starting to snitch on each other. And Enrique Tarrio is one of the main snitches because the FBI made sure that he was not on the streets during the insurrection because they needed him to be a good informant. I want to move to actually let's do this because we laughed pretty hard and we want to reset and get all these stories. We have 5 or 6 more stories that we got to get to before 10:30 is up. If you want the after party, we're going to start that promptly at 10 o'clock. Patreon.com/like it or not. Rebecca, we cool to go to a break? James, y'all want to take a quick break and reset?
Go ahead and take it to a break. Let's just reset. I'm going to get some tea. I hope that you guys get your tea, and let's just come back.
And one other detail, we're going to come into the comment section and say hello to you all. James is going to be DJing, so he won't be there. Rebecca, when you get your tea, come back and say hello to somebody in the chat room. I'm going to do the same.
Comment section. Y'all don't even know.
Me too. Look.
Okay, so it's just me. It's just me. Okay, so my bad. So I'm going to be a human being and come say hello to everybody in the chat room. Let me shut up. James, it's in your hands. We'll be right back after this.
Look, I'm in line with the stars. I'm in sync with the earth. 10 toes deep, flower child from the turf. I never switch sides, like even when I die, I'm a ride for the squad, ladder ties in the hearse. I've been on the vibe, kinda hard to describe. I'm in between, I'm good and it's fine, but I'm tired of the grind. Then I come alive in the night to realize I'm in the middle of the time of my life. I'm never so packed for the stack.
It's my time to ride it out. It's your time, it's your time. You're on the bus, say yeah.
1 second. We want to make sure that you say hello to someone in the chat room. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Introduce yourself to someone, and let's keep it going.
Young or old, I really don't care. Life has never really been fair. So put your fist up in the air. Say yeah. I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody take me. I'm still fly. I'm still fly.
Rachel, I appreciate you. Rachel Letney says, I really loved the Mama Gwen conversation last week. It touched my heart. Thank you, James, for sharing your mama. Oh, anytime, y'all. What's going on, Twitch family? I see y'all. Oh, there go Ben in the chat. There is. Progressive, good morning. JNLE, Jam Tune. What's going on, y'all? Good morning.
I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now.
Hey, man, let me tell you. James, here's another way I know that you are doing some good work with this music. I have gone over. Let me start here. I've had people approach me several times and be like, Ben, why do you have music on a politics show? They clearly never been in the black community because we talk about politics. We talk about politics at church and there's music there. We talk about politics at the barbershop. There's music there. We talk about politics underneath the shade tree. There's music there. We talk about politics in the garage with my father-in-law. There's some old school Al Green there. We talk about all the time. But here's the great thing that happened yesterday. My 3-year-old was walking around the house screaming at the top of his lungs, "I'm young, I'm pwee." Can't no.
He got a little British accent. Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig gonna give kids a British accent, so I know he did say I'm pwee.
Like, I don't even know, how does he have he has an Atlanta/British accent.
Peppa Pig, mommy, daddy. And I'm
Silly.
just like, why are all the kids doing that? I know,
all of them.
Like why? Why are you guys doing that? My nephew, both of them, one is turning 9 and the other one is turning 6. And both of them have that Peppa Pig accent. They watched it so much.
Yeah.
His Eli, who's the one turning 6, he's just like a Haitian, Cuban, and then has this accent from damn England. He's like, Grandma. Grandma, and I'm like, how do you have my mom's accent and then it's like Spanishy accent and then you have this Grandma, I don't want to go outside. What?
Rebecca, what?
Mommy, daddy, and I'm like, the way the kids be yelling at their mom and their daddy on Peppa Pig, mommy, daddy. I'm like, you don't have to yell. Just get their attention.
How did we? I don't remember which episode this was. I don't know if you said this, Rebecca, or somebody else. They said the British finally finished colonizing us through Peppa Pig. They lost the Revolutionary War.
The revolution, the colonization will be televised. And
exactly, and it was.
It's happened.
Rebecca, can you whistle?
Can I whistle?
Wait a minute. Wait, stop it. Stop it. James Bubba Williams. That is my favorite episode of Peppa Pig. When she asked Susie Sheep. Dog, when Peppa Pig asked Susie Sheep, "Can you whistle?" and Susie Sheep,
what's whistle?
I can't whistle. And then they get so angry and they start being so rough with each other. And I can't whistle.
Oh, that's good because I can't whistle either. No, you didn't say either. I can't whistle either. And then she says, then Susie Sheep's like, "What's whistling?"
Oh, you mean this?
Look, and do you even notice that you're watching it? Look, you walk by and you're like,
that is the coldest.
You're really watching it.
That is the coldest cartoon moment.
And once you realize you've been watching, like, damn, I've been watching this for 30
years. Then you gotta shake it off, like, no, she can't whistle, bro. Like, you gotta put back on your groan, like.
Y'all watch
Caillou though. Have you guys watched Caillou? I know that I had to stop my
hey, that little boy. I don't like Caillou.
That little boy would do and be so disrespectful with his bald headed behind. Now, I don't know if he had cancer, so if he did that, please. No, because people try to do that. Because I would be like, Caillou, old bald headed behind. And they're like, well, he is a cancer patient, and that is really, really bad.
Oh my
but
God.
I don't know if that's actually true. So
it's a cartoon. Y'all just make up a backstory for this little boy.
But he's a bad kid that disrespects his parents and does things and doesn't get any. He's bad. Caillou is bad, and I think he promoted tantrums in children. I do, and I had to stop my nephews from watching.
Hey, look, there's some stuff on YouTube I've had to make my kids stop watching altogether, and there's some games I had to get them to stop altogether. But watch this transition. Yeah. Speaking of melanin deficient swine, I want to go to Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
It was good. That was some good stuff right there.
You call her swine.
He said melanin deficient swine.
Yeah, he said swine. I don't know.
I currently cannot remember what this clip is even about.
Well, let's figure it out.
Well, let's play it. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Wait, do we have a clip?
This past week. Now Twitter has banned me for 12 hours. And this just happened. I found out from my staff as I was looking at Twitter, and I was saying, what's wrong with my account? And we got the notification that I've been banned for talking about COVID-19. You see, all I stated on Twitter was that COVID-19, the vaccines should be optional. No one should be forced to take them. Our military should not be forced to take them. I talked about the fact that these vaccines are not FDA approved yet, and that's the truth. They're sanctioned under emergency use. I talked about the fact that obesity is the leading risk factor for COVID hospitalizations and death at nearly 80%. And And I also talked about that the majority of deaths were over age 65, and that our healthy working population and kids in school are not at risk of dying of COVID-19. These are the facts because these are the statistics. Also, the CDC website reports that 6,000 people have died after taking the COVID vaccines. So the only things I put on my Twitter page and tweeted was about information that is true statistics, and you can find on the CDC. But yet Twitter, who is playing a big part and a role with big tech and Facebook and the White House, apparently the Joe Biden administration, in censoring Americans, along with the communist cities in communist California, who doesn't believe that America First represents their values in Anaheim or Riverside. That's the other city that also banned Matt Gaetz and I from having a rally.
All right, so this is Marjorie Taylor Greene responding to the fact that she's been suspended or for a 12-hour suspension on Twitter because of misinformation. Now we got a 7-day suspension for sharing video of Donald Trump spreading misinformation. I just got to put that in context. The people who are actually spreading this misinformation are getting fewer ramifications than those of us who are trying to debunk that. But she went to Twitter and basically said that it's not that COVID-19 is not dangerous for people, for non-obese people and people underneath the age of 65. Now, that is categorically untrue versus what she just got through saying on Newsmax. But I can't for the life of me understand. Well, no, I can. I just get tired of seeing how pathetically mediocre some of these white conservative politicians get to be and actually get elected and be a congressperson. This person is actually being paid taxpayers' dollars and will go on the roll call of American history because she got elected to this office. And here she is, one of the dumbest people I've ever seen in my life, Rebecca.
Rebecca,
you're on mute, sis.
I didn't mute myself. David did.
Yeah, David did. Yeah, because I just had to unmute myself too. I was like, what the hell?
David muted me.
Goddamn, David.
Thanks.
Me too, here are two things that I think that should be highlighted. One is the lying. So the first, David, pause. I'm asking you in a second.
Don't object. Yeah, go.
But two things with this Marjorie Taylor Greene. Excuse me, I apologize for our listening audience. But one being that the lies, when they get on Twitter and they do lie, when they get on Instagram and they do lie, when they get on Facebook and they do lie, what happens is like they're so used to having the backing and the support of the followers to push the rhetoric around. But because Twitter came in and decided, let me push pause on this for you, they cry. And it's like, how long has she been banned? Ben, you just gave a great example of you reporting misinformation being misinformation, by Donald Trump, and you got taken down because of that. No matter how much, and then mind you, you can go to another page, you can go to CNN that may have reported it, but their content is going to stay up because it's them. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene happened to get hit with this, but I'm pretty sure this isn't going to hit her like it's not going to hit her that hard. We've already discussed her content as it relates to her conspiracy theories surrounding COVID-19, even surrounding the Trump campaign on Facebook. And still she rise, not like a phoenix from the fire, just like dust that she is. But,
like a funky dust.
And then my second thing is, if we can put that same B-roll of her back up, I really want you to take a look at her face. She's giving me the Jason mask.
Jesus Christ.
Rebecca. I wasn't going to go there, and Rebecca
to lie, because that does not look like the same woman that was introduced to me early on. Right. That does not look like her. This woman, as you continue to lie and be nasty to people, what it does, it starts to transform your face.
Yeah,
evil.
It starts to transform your face, and you become really nasty. And whatever evil thing that the Lord thinks that that's gonna see fit, that's Jason. It's the Jason mask.
Dude, wait, Rebecca, David, I just dropped you a link. Grab one of those pictures and put it on the screen. Mark from Australia, we need you to get to work and put need you to put a Jason hockey mask on top of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Go ahead, Rebecca. I'm sorry.
No, and that's about all I had to say. Because for me, you know how I am. I know how it is. When you start being a certain kind of way, you're not gonna have that youthfulness in you, and then there's no melanin on top of that. So you know you got to work a little harder. So the shape shifting in your face, it may not be your choice, but when you're evil like that, it starts to change up. And here it was. They chose the Jason mask. She looks like it.
Skeletor.
She really does. No, Skeletor. It's Kellyanne Conway. No,
Skeletor.
Wait, which one was
Kelly? Well, I will give Kellyanne Conway a good running for Skeletor, but the real Skeletor is former Governor Rick Scott. See, you be so Rebecca. How you so kind and so cruel at the same time? She be snatching wigs.
Kellyanne, I don't want to rag.
You don't want to step on somebody and they actually struggling with something. But I could tell you about the governor. But I can tell you about the governor, former governor of Florida, Rick Scott. His ass look like Skeletor because he's pure evil underneath. He's just like, it's like something like all of us, the rest of us, we got something inside of us that's good. The rest of them, they just ooze and like they're just trying to hold all that evil white supremacy in, and it starts oozing out of their skin.
Even
like
if black folk get evil, they age 1,000 years.
They do. For real, that's real.
They age 1,000. Is the more evil you become, and then people start looking at you like, ooh, and they'll post you up and be like, oh, he didn't age well.
I'm gonna put Candace Owens right there. You got to put a picture of Candace Owens right here on the.
Look at us. We in our 40s. We look good as hell.
You know what I mean? We look good. Moisturized.
I just hit 30s. I'm 31 actually.
Right. And Rebecca,
you guys are in your
40s
and you look damn good.
You know what I mean? Like, listen. I have every intent. I plan on looking good the rest of my life because I'm not going to do all this evil shit that excuse me. I know we're not in the party, right? Oh, yeah, $20. Sorry. Go ahead, Rebecca. No, she's like, I don't know. She could be 25 as far as we know, and she looked like she's 100. I never forget. I went to the
Jason on the screen.
Is he on the screen already? Oh, I missed it. Put it on the screen. Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene.
And David keep putting in random plots. I hate David.
Look at Marjorie Jason Greene. Marjorie Jason Greene. We wait on Mark from Australia going to do that real nice. I know that's going to be a good one. All right, I want to move to the next. Put the wardrobe.
Ben trying to move on. Look, it ain't me today.
Leave me alone, Rebecca. Go ahead.
Listen. We got to talk about Naomi Osaka, and we don't have it fully produced, but we still got to talk about the fact that they are coming after our sister Naomi Osaka because she posed for Sports Illustrated, and she fabulously posed for Sports Illustrated alongside Megan Thee Stallion, by the way. So hat tip to the goddess. Yeah. But Megyn Kelly and Piers Morgan decided to come after Naomi Osaka because she had the nerve to say that she simultaneously needed to have a mental health break, and somewhere in that mental health break, she found the time to do a photo shoot, and that's just too much for these white conservatives to handle. Rebecca, you've been following the story?
Yeah. So here's my thing. They all got upset. So the first thing that they did when they saw the first Haitian Japanese, because, she Haitian and Japanese, but when they saw the first Haitian Japanese woman on this cover, what they had to do was bully her. And so if we can go back to that Megyn Kelly tweet, here's what she tweeted out. And she said, let's not forget the cover and interview in Vogue, Japan, and Time Mag. But here's the thing. These are not the original. These are not the tweets that I needed up. Sorry. Throw
them in there. We'll add them in post. Go for it.
Here's where I have to go to for this one. Give me 2 seconds. And as I pull that up, this is important for me to point out. Because what Megyn Kelly, who I don't even know who she works for anymore. I don't know where to find her.
I don't know if she works. She made a lot of money being really mediocre at NBC. She got like millions of dollars for being a grieved white woman. But go ahead.
Yeah. But here's the issue here. The issue here is that Naomi Osaka blocked them. When she saw this, what she did was block them. And Megyn Kelly felt disrespected because she was blocked. And Megyn Kelly tweeted out, "Poor Naomi Osaka blocked me while taking a shot at me." And the shot is going to be basically Naomi Osaka basically clearing her and saying, if you were really a journalist, you would have found out that I did those way before I dropped out last year.
Right.
And so she's like, guess she's only tough on the courts. She apparently is arguing that she shot her mini covers before publicly claiming she was too socially anxious to deal with press. Truth is, she just doesn't like questions. She can't control, admit it. To me, for somebody who's dealing with a mental health issue, and this is with Naomi Osaka has said that for her mental health, she's stepping away. So clearly it's a mental health thing and she's stepping away. For someone to get online and bully her, attack her, and call her essentially weak, just as everybody was already calling her that. And we're getting past that. And for her to bring that back up because she blocked you is disrespectful. And no shock to Piers Morgan getting on and backing that, saying, he's a cheerleader. So he backs it up and he responds to Megyn Kelly and says, yep, and she just blocked me too. The only media Miss Osaka wants to tolerate are
sycophantic.
Oh Lord, that was gonna get me. Sycophantic magazine editors telling her how perfect she is, and this is not true because there are every time Naomi Osaka would do a magazine, a lot of the conversation in the social media world was how her face isn't presentable, how she doesn't look right, how that would be the conversation. So many times. She don't look, now that we're highlighting her in a beautiful cover that showcases every beautiful part of her, as the first Haitian Japanese person to cover this magazine. And for them to just take away all of how she feels, to me, it's all right up there. It's all right up there with the reason that she backs away.
She wants to back away in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. What they do, these rejects being Megyn Kelly and rejects being Piers Morgan, what they do is go try to find somebody that they believe is weak. And for her stepping away, I need to be very clear. I don't know if I haven't been clear the thousands of times that I've stated this.
Right.
Naomi Osaka stepping away for her mental health makes her, to me, a million times stronger. Somebody who can identify when there is a spiral happening in her mental, when there is a spiral happening in her emotions, when the world is having too much say in how she moves. For her to step away, to me, that reads a strong person. That shows me a strong person. So for these two rejects to come out and try to paint that as being weak, it only shows their weaknesses. These are people who are considered journalists. There is nothing journalistic about Piers being a bitch. There is nothing journalistic about Megyn Kelly literally having an issue with every person of color that's in sports and telling them to be quiet and just play for us because we own you. There's nothing journalistic about that. There's no integrity. There's nothing there. These people literally feed off of abusing, taking to the internet, Twitter fingering away, and abusing, especially the young ones who have control, who have an idea of saving themselves. And I'm sorry, Megyn Kelly, because you weren't able to save your career, you got fired from a place that literally makes money off of the very thing that you do.
How you get fired?
And
on your day off.
They didn't want you no more, sis. They didn't want you no more. Piers, you walked away and nobody gave a damn when you cried.
Oh, damn,
you didn't get an opportunity. Girl.
He walked off the set like people were going to care. He walked off the set of Good Morning Britain.
Nobody, the black man sat in that seat and was like, go ahead, walk off. I don't care. How many times have you done this to me? There was no care in the world.
Freaking wanker.
Because you couldn't get the black girl, you was mad. With that being said, leave Naomi Osaka alone. If she needs to block you, she's gonna block you.
Let
her find her peace.
For real.
Like it's. I just
how
love
old is
that
Naomi?
Coming into herself, and she represents herself again. I have to keep pointing that out because I too am Haitian.
And shout out to her. She dropped the documentary on. They dropped the documentary on her on Netflix. Yes, I still need to watch it. But shout out to Naomi.
She has a Barbie. So since then, she has a Barbie, which sold out in minutes.
Nice.
She definitely has dropped a Netflix documentary on her life, and she has now got on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and as the first Japanese Haitian person to do so. So, you know, all the Japanese folks, I saw them claiming her online. It's great because she is half, but
she's still Haitian.
Still Haitian.
So, and she won't. You know what I'm saying? So
if you saw her in the streets, how you greet her if you saw her in the streets?
Oh, chérie. Oh. Et comme ça même, chérie. Et comme ça même. Yes. That's how you do it, right? Okay. So she's doing it for us, and
wait. James,
representation on both sides.
I need a conversation. We're gonna go to the after party. We got we got a whole bunch of clips. Before we go, I need to hear Piers Morgan argue with the Haitian mom who's supporting Naomi Osaka. Rebecca, you know which role you got to play. You the Haitian mom that's defending Naomi Osaka, but against Piers Morgan. Yeah, I do 30. Then we go to break.
Naomi just needs to make sure that she just plays tennis and just shuts the hell up. That's all she needs to do.
Her dad is Haitian. I don't understand. This is what he would do. He would literally pull the father of Venus and Serena. He would come in there. You don't talk to my daughter like that. Do you know who she is?
One shot, Rebecca. No, wait. Wait a minute. Wait, y'all got to start over.
Play like her.
Take me down.
Have you ever seen a tennis player play like her? You don't know what a gift is. You don't know somebody who has a special gift and has to protect the gift. Protect the gift. My friend.
You're not going to attack me. I don't have to take this.
No. You don't talk to my friend like that. Do you know I'm Haitian? Hey. Do you know I'm Haitian? Do you know the strength of the people of my country? Do you know all I have to do is make a whisper, make a call to Haiti, and poof, you are gone, Piers. Piers, you are gone, Piers.
I'm leaving here. I'm getting my things. I'm going to work for another news company.
Pas petite femme. Retiens beaucoup sous petite femme. Osaka. Excuse-moi.
I'm done with you.
Allah des graines, Piers. Allah des graines. Avant parler avec petite femme.
Oh man, I'm so tempted to cuss Piers Morgan out in Creole because that's the first thing I learned in Creole.
Right.
Was how to cuss in Creole. Melon deficient British swine Piers Morgan. Let's get out of here. Just on you, James.
Real quick. Hey, David, put that picture up we sent you. I'm gonna show you what Marjorie Taylor Greene really looks like.
Run the music. We're going to the after party.
See, that's Kelly. I'm out of here. Get me out of here.
After party. Y'all about to get us canceled. Patreon.com/like it or not for the after party. Y'all come on over here because we ain't even got started getting ratchet yet. Oh my God. I'm done with y'all. See y'all at the after party.
Mm-hmm. The after party. Look, get out of here.
I'm waiting for the music. Just let it stay on the screen for a second. Just let it marinate, vibrate, and boom.
693 been in the box now, stepping up tone. Like straight out the sand lot, and I'm plotting on the globe. I work hard, I show love, that calm steady grind. Got this far, I go hard, let God take control.
Y'all make sure you stay tuned. The after party is going next, man. We will see y'all over there. We appreciate y'all again. Everybody that joined in today, we love y'all. Meet it again. Patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not. And Patreon.com/the BPD show. Make sure that you go join if you have not. We appreciate it. Wait a minute.
and I'm doing that's the Jay-Z line, by the way.
The hotel lobby.
Yeah, I figured the way I can get away with it is I won't say any of the R. Kelly lines, but I'll just use the Jay-Z. Will that work? Can I do that? All right, that's not gonna work.
Sometimes I sing R. Kelly music, not with the intention of singing R. Kelly music because it's R. Kelly music, but because it's just like, damn, I know too many songs. That's
Contagious. You want me to not sing Contagious ever again?
Like, I want to say, what
the other day, my girlfriend called me, and she was like, what's that Sparkle song? Damn it.
You better be careful.
So she started, you better be careful. And I was like, yo, man, I remember when I watched that video on a brown TV with a big booty.
With the not the dial TV. I'm thinking about the TV.
It had a dial. It had a dial thingy on
it. Oh, the floor model, the floor TV.
And
the one you used to go to you used to go to HBO, and if you dialed it just right, you could see all the
You like the lines be going on like this and everything.
I think I was like 8 years old.
You could adjust the line.
Dumb TV. And I had to try to and I remember that video coming out, and I remember Sparkle having the hair, what they do now today. My mama used to do those hairstyles all the time, but the hair, that all the kids that are like mid-20s are doing today.
The French roll.
Yeah, the French roll with the diamond studs. My mama used to really rock those, okay?
Yeah.
My mama used to really kill them with the diamond. Her French roll had diamond studs all on the side every time.
David, check the chat room. Somebody said the Twitch private stream didn't switch over. I don't. I'm a boomer in technology. Go ahead, Rebecca.
But I have to say anyways. We're moving on from that, but there are times I just bust out with "You better be careful, girl." That's a good song that you need to stop singing. Like stuff like that.
Every time Contagious come on, it's just like, okay, I got to avoid.
What the hell is going on?
We just got to not sing that part. There's
in the streets.
That's in my home. Elvis,
Elvis.
People love Elvis and his music.
No. I'm gonna pull you back from the edge of the black hole there, Rebecca. Let's go.
Okay.
Nope. I shall not allow us to venture over into that conversation. I've been doing this a little too long. Let's go to this.
We shouldn't listen to that either. But I'm just,
I got a video for you that's amazing. Let's go to this video and save Rebecca's career. Because they gonna come. Anyway, I digress. Y'all, the vaccine got the vaccine has, according to Republicans, I got to say that the vaccine has the mark of the beast in it. One guy went one step further in this next clip, and it's not only the mark of the beast in the vaccine, but it is the fact that COVID itself is representative of 666. Watch the video.
Research from my show. And growing a business is very easy, by the way. And I give away all my books for free. If you go to thrivetimeshow.com/free-resources, it's very easy to do in a capitalistic society. But if you want to kill all the businesses simultaneously, you implement Marxism. And so I have a vast knowledge of Marxism and Stalinism and communism and all these isms. And I know a lot about the Bible. And I have a lot of doctors who are clients. And anyway, so I know the different silos of information. I see how it fits. So I do all my research, and this is what I found out in January of 2020. Here we go. The word corona has 6 letters in it. C-O-R-O-N-A. 6. The letter C has the number 3 in it. It's the letter C is the third letter in the alphabet. The third letter in the alphabet. O is the 15th letter. R is the 18th. O is the 15th. N is the 14th. A is the first. Add that up, it's 66.
Wow.
666.
That is the most conspiracy thing that I've ever heard.
I told y'all I had a clip for you.
In my life.
That's a lot, though.
He said that man had documentation written by his child to explain why there's 666 in here.
Y'all better be glad I don't have a mark over here.
He literally sat down, and it was funny because the guy show he was on was actually looking at him like, this man is on the show. This is what we got. This is what we cleared. David, this is what we didn't vet, David. Did you know he was this? Did you know? All right. See, this is what I'm saying. So his David did not that. His David did not do what needed to be done, because if you look at his face, he's like, is this serious? Like, is this man really on here? And then he pulled, I ain't gonna say that. He pulled a man that is well known online for taking credit for work that he didn't do and getting real famous off of it. But he said he's a theologian. Yeah, he did. He knows the Bible. He knows numbers. He's a scientist. He's all of this all in one. And this is why you should believe him. And this is a pure conspiracy. This is like me just saying, that's guys, the highest
level of conspiracy.
You guys, I'm Black, and my melanin empowers me to speak with a deeper voice. See, if you can see, I have a black shirt, and because I'm wearing a black shirt, I have black print, and because I have these black prints in here, and if you really look at them, they're snakeskin, and it shows that we come from the earth. And then I made sure to add that brown in there, brown and black equals unity. And then my earrings are showing where we actually originate from. And what is the color of this earring? It is black.
It's black, sister.
That black empowers you to have a deeper, stronger voice. You see how that all ties back to how I started?
I need some congos.
Ruder to the China to the.
Turns out I play carcass.
Bang bang.
Hakuna Matata, should have bought a Hyundai. Everything's going our way. Hey.
Right
conspiracy.
On, brother.
I gotta say it like this. This is how we do it as the black man interpreting the white man's interpretation of their conspiracy. We look at Mother Africa. We recognize that from the bowels of Mother Africa, we have the vibranium. We got the vibranium running in our DNA. You have to understand that B represents the number 2 in the alphabet. L represents whatever the number L represents in the alphabet. I don't know what it stands and adds up to, but it means black is beautiful. That's what the hell black's translates into.
Brother.
777.
From a king. It can only come from a king, my brother. And this shows me that you are awakened from your third and fourth eye. I don't know, but that is what I know.
The medulla oblongata is operating at a frequency.
That's all.
The hematoma is the melanoma, and the melanin is the
We love our black, and we love it black. But don't come for us, Hotep.
Okay. Yeah, no, we love y'all. We love y'all. We're not mocking y'all.
We love y'all. Okay.
We're not mocking y'all. We don't have time for. We don't need y'all as enemies. We need y'all to jump in. Imitation is a form of flattery. Hotep. Come on. Right. It is the virus of white supremacy that has carried COVID-19. You all have been bringing all of your diseases to America.
My brother. I think this will only sound best if it comes from a black queen that is me. I am her.
You didn't let me finish my part. It's been spreading COVID-19 since 1492, Rebecca.
Since 1492. If you look at 1492 and you add 14 and 92, what do you get? I don't know. But what you
I don't know. You multiply it.
It's a number that doesn't equate to our cells. Our cells were meant to divide and come back together and reproduce naturally without any injection of the man. The man being a man without any melanin. If I can say it again, the man being the man without any melanin. So if we put our trust in the man without any melanin, what's going to happen is the injection inside of us is going to start making us clear.
They want our melanin, my black sister.
Clear in skin color where people can't really see how we shine when the sun shines on our skin, and there is no more melanin. Again, we're getting injection from the man without any melanin. My brother.
Wait a minute, help me out. I need what was that? What was that the Black Panther they used to shout on the fields of Wakanda in the movie? What was that? What was this?
Which one was it?
I don't know what they were shouting.
Whatever it was. Bring
it. Listen.
That's the next clip. The next clip is from the LAPD. And this is the clip of how you should use your white privilege to help black folks. Let's take a look at that clip.
I have one of those hats. Look, while you go get your car, I'll be back.
Get in the car. Yes, get in the car. Get in the car. I'm not going to move until you move. Get in the car. I need you to move away from the car. Come on, man. Get in the car. I need you to get in the car. Move away from the car. Yeah, that's
This is public space.
Get the car, tough guy. Ha, 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 ha. Get the fucking car, tough guy. Get the fucking car, tough guy. That's what I thought, you fucking coward. You coward.
Come on.
Get in the car too now, you coward. Get the fuck out of here.
Come on.
Yeah, you all
Get me hyped. This is, I'm sorry. Bring me that get me.
Wait a goddamn minute!
I told you I had one.
How we come back for it? How we come back? And it was, I thought it was like Photoshop, but no, it's real.
My brother.
My sister.
As we go into this next segment, and it shows the white man fighting the white cop. How does that protect us as melanated, pure people of America? You can take a 3-shot. My brother. I know what we're gonna do is try to support, and because this white man did something that we as black people in America do every day, what we're gonna try to do is give him some kind of, this white man did what he needed to do, but we do that very thing every day. We walk outside and we
Hold that thought, James. I'm actually going to overlay some music. I'm going to overlay some Hotep music here. It's Rebecca, full screen Rebecca. No, don't full screen her because I want to. I need people to not think that she's actually.
It's really cute though. I had it for a minute.
Rebecca, how did that white man see? This is how I want white people. This is how you use your privilege. This is the only type of white power I want to see. Is to use your white power.
I don't think that it should be highlighted every time they do it, to be honest. And this is my honest. This is Rebecca as well. I don't want to see it all the time. Okay? I don't want to see all the time because what happens is every time a white person does something like this, we'd be like, that's right, white people. You did a good job. You did such a good job. And this is what I be trying to say as a black woman in America. We look at this and we think this is the staple that we should be living by, but everybody should be doing this. When we do it, we're on camera, possibly getting shot down. So when you do put things like this up, I need you to juxtapose these videos. I need you to put a video of a black man doing the same thing and what happens to this black man as we watch this white man do this to the white cop. I need y'all to understand there is a lack of highlighting.
Why are you saying it like Steve Harvey?
What happens to the black man? We need to also highlight every time we see a white man doing that. I said juxtapose with another video and another visual. We don't need to be giving praise to something that we do every day. And we only do this when we feel like we're being attacked. When we're being attacked, when we're being followed, when we're being bullied by the people who were placed to protect and serve.
Speak, Mother, Sister Azor. Queen Mother Azor.
Sister Azor.
This is Queen Mother Azor right here. This is Queen Mother Azor. Let's run the second clip. It gets better. Here's the second clip.
You step back.
Thank you.
You step back.
I want you to
step back.
Move.
Well, you move. You move.
I'm not moving.
You move.
I'm telling you.
I'm not moving. I'm not moving. Public space, bro. What's up?
Okay. Don't spin my face.
Don't spin my face. Don't spin my face. Don't spin my face. You don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't. You don't care about public safety, bro. Get the out of here. Get the out.
Wow.
Get the out. Get the out. Get the car. Get the out.
Okay.
Get the out. Stop shooting people. Get the out of here.
Okay.
Get the fuck out, you losers. LAPD, shot and kill. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get the out.
Yeah, we'd be dead as hell if we did that.
Be dead.
We would have been shot.
2 seconds. The first time he said "get the F out," we would have been dead already. That not tased, not beat, shot, killed.
Absolutely.
on the car because that was like, bro, really? And y'all just standing on that chair. Let that have been a black man, boy. Y'all.
So apparently in this clip, the cops are on the boardwalk harassing people, inclusive of some black folks. And this is going around the internet. It's super viral. Cool clip of this white man using his quote unquote white privilege. I remember being in Philadelphia for the Democratic National Convention back in 2016, and I was riding with a good friend, still my good friend to this day. But the cops pulled him over for something, and the way that boy snapped on them cops, I was like, dude, I'm a black man in your car. They will shoot over you and hit me. So it's just the fact of the matter is that they get to respond to police in a way that would get us killed in 0.25 faster than you could search Black Lives Matter on Google. Those cops would have pulled the trigger on us if that had been us.
And the LAPD? Oh, man.
They've been roughing the
LAPD.
I had to catch my mouth.
I just don't like that. And I get it. It's great to see. But this happens all the time. I don't give a damn, frankly, because this happens all the time. I see knife-wielding white people. I see. Just recently, we saw a white man, the address, the neighbor, the white neighbor who came over to the black guy's house and was saying, "My house, this and that." And the way that he spoke to the officer already had a relationship with him. They already knew about this white man.
That's right. That's right.
So the way that he handled him.
Which video was that? It's going to come back to me, but we've been covering that one.
Yeah, we did. It's the neighbor, the white neighbor guy that walked over to his black neighbor's house and cussed him out and called him all kinds of N-words and gave his address, and everybody the next day.
Oh, that one. And that cop,
okay.
And that cop acted with a whole sense of familiarity. Oh, it's just Jim. Chill out, Jim. Don't make me have to pull you, take you, arrest you.
So with white people, and I feel like, and not to say with all white people, because we just saw recently a little white boy who got shot, a teenager who got shot, and now Ben Crump and Al Sharpton are going to be representing them. But this is rare, as opposed of it being like, somebody black, right? Like if it was us, it's rare to see somebody white really get attacked for doing something like this. If we were to even think about doing something like this, just like that, tell them to get off the boardwalk. We saw what happened when those black kids were on the boardwalk.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
The black kid takes off his backpack, and I saw so many people in our comment section saying, "Oh my God, well, he took off his backpack, you guys. He deserved to be tased." And I was like, you see what happens?
You're talking about the story we covered previously about that black.
Yes, we also covered that story previously about kids being on a boardwalk. I believe it was somewhere in Florida, and and the boy who was going to take off his backpack was tased.
Yeah.
He didn't walk around while the other boys were saying, get off him. That's not fair. They were placed in handcuffs. This is one single white man that's walking around telling these officers to get the hell off the boardwalk. You know why? Because the law will be in favor or possibly look at the white man's life. For us, we were to do that. We would have been shot down. We would have been put in jail. We would have been used as a tool, an example to show how we would be embarrassed as black people for stepping up to our overseers, the officers, right? And like, don't ever disrespect police officers. That's how they walk around, especially the ones in NYPD. Don't ever look at them crazy. Don't disrespect them. Don't do nothing. That's how they feel. This man literally look at his face. If that were a black man, I'm sorry, it would have never been done that way. That's why I'm like, these videos are great, but I want them to, honestly, all jokes aside, I want them to always be juxtaposed with a video of a black person saying, get away from me. I didn't do anything to you. Please back up off of me. My hands are up, officer. Hey, I can't breathe, officer. Hey, I don't want to do this, officer. I'm complying, officer. Why do you need my ID, officer? My hands are at 10 and 2 on the wheel, officer. I want that to be juxtaposed with that. And I want you guys to show how it ends, because the way that this ends, it would most likely not end with a black person doing the same. And that's all I got to say about that. These are great for kicks. These are great to see. And I love when white people use their white privilege, but I don't want to see it because that happens all the time. I've seen my neighbor go off on a whole damn police officer and be all right. And then I see my dad walk out of his house in handcuffs. So
last week, 2 weeks ago, Karen in Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
She used them white tears and flipped that all the way around, and they trying to make our sister look like she was the one responsible for it.
Right. All I know is that this has been the dopest 2.5 hours that I've spent in a long ass time. Y'all some funny motherfuckers. That's all I got to say. You and James, and then Rebecca.
I know you ain't talking. Your ass is carrying this morning.
Bro. Hey man, listen. I've been in rare form this morning. Like, all I know is that I've been up since 2:00 this morning. I've been wondering where Rebecca Azor she pulled this hat out like she pulled them shades out. Remember she had those exact shades that that black woman had in that viral video? She had them sitting next to her, and then she brought out her hoteptress.
Yes. So one thing about me that you guys need to know, well, Ben, you know already, but I'm very big when it comes to fashion. Like, I have all the pieces that you need to know. I'll go from boho chic to girl on the street. Okay, that's just me, right? So, literally, I got this hat because it reminded me of my grandmother. She used to actually make hats just like this with the African print on them. R.I.P. Gun. But she used to actually make these hats for the women in our church in the early 90s. She used to make hats just like this because everybody wanted them. So I got this hat from a thrift store that I was
it's kind of like a Haitian connection to that image. That hat, excuse me.
Even though this gives me really pure early 90s print, like Martin,
Yes, it does. It really does.
Queen Latifah, ladies first, the Unity video.
It gives me the Queen Latifah, right? So that's really it reminds me of my grandma. Rebecca. She used to make a lot of hats like that for people.
We got 1 minute left before we get out of here, and you did Naomi Osaka's dad, but I need you to put the Haitian hat back on your head.
The Hotep hat.
And do the Hoteptress hat. But you got to do Naomi Osaka's auntie, her father's sister. At the Haitian church. At the Haitian church, defending, she's giving a testimony at the Haitian church about how God is going to protect Osaka from Pierce Morgan and Megyn Kelly. That's your script. Go for it.
Wait, what was it? So she's giving a sermon.
You are Naomi Osaka's auntie. Haitian auntie, the dad's sister. You are at a Haitian church and you are testifying about how God is going to protect Naomi, your niece, Naomi Osaka, from them white melanin deficient devils.
So Haitian aunties are bougie. So anyways, so la paix bon Dieu avec nous.
I don't know what to say, but it's funny.
I want to start off with God has been very good to my family. God has brought us a superstar. Somebody who is strong. And the superstar is Naomi Osaka, my niece. If you have been watching the news, moun yo sorti pou yo deshouke petit mwen.
What the hell did you just say?
Pou yo krasé foyer petit mwen. Mais bon Dieu mwen servi ya. Bon Dieu mwen servi ya. Alléluia. Bon Dieu mwen servi ya. Couvri petit mwen. Okay? So,
we need the translator. Who's the translator?
Naomi, parce que on blanc. On blanc.
You need to step your game up and stop talking to the colonizers.
On blanc. Satan vin mette.
On God.
But bon Dieu pas nan. Bon Dieu m'servi.
And y'all act like she's got money, but she is.
Naomi couvri. Non, Jesus.
Naomi is the shit.
Amen.
I'm saying, bro.
Because that's how they be interpreted, child. It be wrong, child. It be wrong, strong and wrong.
Hey, that's like the lady that was the translator that was doing the sign language.
Exactly.
They said they don't know who she is. She's just making shit up.
They do the same thing in the church. They will interpret and they be strong and wrong. And then they'll have us interpreting. We ain't got a 5-year-old kid interpreting in the church and playing the drums. Child.
If I was the interpreter.
Hopeful. Because you don't know, but you got to be strong and wrong. You have to be very strong and encouraged in your wrongness. That's how it works. That's how it works.
This is the Republican sign language. Tax breaks.
That's what we're doing.
I do apologize for the last 3 minutes for the listening audience. We have been invoking, mocking Republican sign language because they be just up there lying. Not because they're not good people, but because they got a lie for these Republicans.
You ain't got to lie, Craig.
I bet you the Republican interpreters be like, these lying ass liars.
Okay. No, the one that be showing like, here go the one that don't want to do no. They're like, here I go, having to work this job. Like, Rebecca, can you
gotta pay these bills. No, we gotta go. Jade has done left the house. My kids. Who you flipping off, Rebecca? I can't ask Rebecca.
Sign language.
Oh.
Get me out of here. I feel like it's a Friday. I got to get to work, you guys. You guys don't have me. I apologize to everybody watching. If you have kids watching, I do apologize. That was all in the tea. The tea that I have today is elderberry with 2 drops of Haitian rum. I love you guys so much, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to take mine on. I'm going to grab something to eat and make it a great Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. I might do that today. I might do Taco Tuesday.
Shout out to LeBron James. I actually did like. It's only got a 31% rating on, but I actually liked Space Jam, by the way. So
I loved it.
It was.
I loved the movie. It was cool. It was cute.
Watch it. See y'all tomorrow.
Is that my car outside? What the? All right, y'all. Bye.
Like what Ben was talking about, he just left. All right, y'all. We're gonna give y'all a few minutes this morning, but yes, I've been off work for like 3-4 days, so I got to go back today. So we'll give y'all a little bit of music, but I love y'all, mean it, and we will see y'all. Tomorrow. Benjamin Dixon Show on the clock with Georgia Ford. Like it or not, with Rebecca Ozora and your man DJ Exclusive. Holla.
When I get you back, oh yeah, I promise you'll never leave me. When it comes to you and me, there's no one else I'd rather be with. Baby, I won't let you down. I got it, I know you need it. Love is it when you're around. Oh, please say that you believe it, 'cause I don't wanna lose you. I hope you feel that way too. No, I don't wanna lose